problem? Or could you just answer yes or no?
Chairwoman Waters, I appreciate the opportunity to address that.
Just yes or no?
We always felt comfortable with our liquidity and the additional capital that RobinHood raised.
Please answer yes or no.
Yes or no, Vlad?
We always felt
To get
comfortable
through my
with our
5
liquidity.
minutes, I don't have time. I just need a yes or no answer.
Difficulties? Is there a reason why industry shouldn't move that way in the name of transparency to customers?
Congressman, this is a very interesting topic to me. I'd love to have the conversation. I don't know if this is the right forum to necessarily ideate and brainstorm on all the solutions, but I just want to say I'd be happy to engage with this in a detailed forum and figure out the right path.
Is it your testimony after RobinHood paid the SEC $65 million to settle those charges that this conflict of interest is in your customer's best interest? Yes or no?
Yes or no, Vlad?
Chairwoman Waters, first let me say regulatory compliance is at the center of everything that we do. We've made mistakes in the past. I'm not claiming that I'm
But could you answer yes or no to that question?
So Citadel Securities is an important counterparty. Nobody's denying that. The reason that
Gentlemen, can you answer yes or no? I'm reclaiming my time.
And you've said this multiple times that you did in fact have the liquidity and you didn't have a liquidity problem at that moment in time. That is not necessarily true.
Congressman, we did have to, the RobinHood Securities team had to work with.
If you can give it to me in a short period of time, how did you come up with your name for your company?
Why is your name Vlad?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. Thank you, Congressman, for the question. Thank you, Congressman, for the opportunity to address that.
Do you have a call center generally for RobinHood investors?
Thank you for that question, Congressman. And I want to start by saying aggressively.
Do you have a call center that I can call, a 1-800 number if I'm having a trouble in the middle of the trading day?
We do offer, Congresswoman, I appreciate that question.
Why did RobinHood restrict the buying, but not the selling of GameStop? And why did folks get locked out on the buy side only?
Ranking Member McHenry, I appreciate the opportunity to address that. The reason that RobinHood, first of all, let me say RobinHood is always committed to providing access. It's in our name. It's in everything that we do. Buying securities are requirements. Selling does not. Moreover,
to the wild speculation and confusion that resulted in the aftermath of your trading restrictions.
Congresswoman, I appreciate the question. Thank you for the question, Congresswoman.
Thank you.
Congressman, I'd be happy to. Thanks for giving me an opportunity.
Particularly when, in the case of GameStop, they are singled out and moved on social media. What do you do?
I appreciate the question.
But do we not? I mean, you're at the center of this. Don't you see and agree that something very wrong happened here?
Congressman, I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus in direct frustration. We do believe, Congressman, that that's an important question. And thank you, Congressman, for that very important question.
How did your customers in the aggregate do? Did they win or did they lose?
Thank you, Congressman, for that question. I don't have that particular cut of the data top of mind, so maybe we can get back to you on that one.
All right, you don't have that. So you do have a $35 billion figure. The figure doesn't mean a lot to me because it's just a dollar number. Help me convert that to a rate of return. First of all, is that $35 billion, is that gross or net? In other words, is that actual profit or does it include margin shares, other forms of leverage that may actually not belong to the account holder?
It does include, Congressman, unrealized gains. So it's the value of assets, both including positions in securities and cryptocurrencies.
Okay, I get that. I get that. But again, $35 billion doesn't mean anything to me unless you can convert that into a rate of return. So do that for me. What is that on what asset under management number is that $35 billion unrealized against?
The asset under management number is not one that Robinhood is publicly shared.
Okay, but you can't share $35 billion. Sorry, Mr. Tenep, I just don't have a lot of time. $35 billion is a meaningless number. I need to know what that is in terms of return. So convert that for me into rate of return. So I can compare it to Treasury, so I can compare it to the S&P 500.
Congressman, with respect, I think the proper comparison is to customers not investing at all. Much of our customers are investing for the first time and are taking money that they otherwise would have spent or consumed and putting it in.
Mr. Teneb, again, I don't want to be rude, but it's my time. Again, you offered up the $35 billion number, which, as you and anybody else schooled in finance knows, is meaningless unless you convert it into a rate of return. So just please convert that $35 billion number, which to the folks watching at home sounds like a lot of money, but what does that actually convert to in terms of rate of return, which is what matters?
Congressman, $35 billion is indeed a large amount of money, especially for our customers who are mostly small investors. It's more than most corporations, nearly all corporations have paid.
Mr. Teneb, again, don't make me be rude here. You and I both know that $35 billion of unrealized gains, if that's on a base of $100 billion, that's a 35% of return. If that's under $1 trillion, it's a radically different rate of return. So what I'm trying to get at, Mr. Tenef, here is you threw out the number of $35 billion. I actually think the right comparison is, what if your clients had simply invested in the long run in an S&P index fund? Would that number be more than $35 billion or less?
Congressman, with respect, I don't believe the right comparison is investing in an S&P index fund. I think the right comparison is not having invested at all and having instead spent that money and consumed it.
No, it's most certainly not. It's most certainly not, Mr. Tenef. And so I'm going to ask you, I'm out of time, but again, you put out the $35 billion number. So I think it's only decent, because you and I both know that a hard dollar number is meaningless unless you can convert it to return. So I'm going to ask you to convert that, obviously I'm out of time, into a rate of return for us.
You're out of time. Listed retail volume, please, yes or no?
Please.
Excuse me, Chairman Waters, what percentage? I couldn't hear that number.
47%.
So Chairman Waters, to the best.
Yes or no?
So the odd, to the best of my knowledge, we handle in excess of roughly 40% of all retail volume.
Thank you very much for reclaiming my time.
You did it.
Mr. Griffin, on
He answered yes or no.
27, the Citadel execute 7.4 billion shares for retail investors, which would be more trades than the average daily volume of the entire United States equities market in 2019, yes or no?
Chairman Waters, that was by written and oral testimony.
So yes.
Thank you very much.
Is the RobinHood customer getting as good a price as the Fidelity customer? Mr. Griffin.
The execution quality that we can provide, as measured in terms of price improvement, is heavily related or correlated to the size of the order that we receive. So if I were to speculate,
don't tell me that that there are other factors involved and take us down another road. I'm asking you a clear question. Assuming same size of order, one comes in from RobinHood, one comes in from Fidelity. Is it not true that one is going to get a enhanced best execution, and the other one is just going to get best execution?
So as I was trying to explain, because the RobinHood order comes from a community of traders who tend to trade in smaller size.
That isn't my question, sir. You're evading my question by making up other questions. Let me repeat. 2 identical orders come in. Same stock, same quantity. One's from RobinHood, one's from Fidelity. What happens?
The quality of the execution varies by the channel of the order. This is a commonly understood phenomena in economics, that channels matter. So for example, when you go get a mortgage from JP Morgan to their clientele has a different rate of interest than a mortgage.
Okay, reclaiming my time, sir. Who gets the better deal? Well, one that comes from a broker who is being paid for order flow, and one not. can you testify that on balance, there is no difference, assuming the same size of the order?
So as I said earlier, size of the order is only one factor.
You are doing a great job of wasting my time. You might, if you go to filibuster, you should run for the Senate.
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
Pretty
Did you buy GameStop because you were not aware of the payment for order flow?
My investment in GameStop was based on the fundamentals.
Okay, I think that answers it.